decided one daily segment wasn't enough for Bill Bush and Bill's Thrills, so we turned it into a week-long podcast recap. Here's Bill's Thrills Rewrapped, sponsored by Acres Equipment on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's do this.
All right, Bill. What's
Okay,
there
you're
on
stage
this,
now.
This
Let's
is going to surprise you guys. I'm going to go back in time.
Oh, what a shot.
I'm just going to surprise you. This will be way over
would have
Josh,
never
and I think Sip's going to recall this. I hope so, because something came up that really jarred this the other day.
There's the flip.
The obtaining and monitoring of ridiculous rewards. The electric ease of your rewards club. The electronic ease of your rewards club. So this hit me.
All right.
last
Hit
week.
us, Bill.
Okay, interesting.
You're at Casey's, all right?
Yes.
Are you a rewards member? Right
No.
away they ask you. They ask you a question. Rewards member like that? Tractor Supply hit me up like that. I signed up. I went to Petco yesterday. You want to be in the rewards club? So you have the rewards club. So you have to have all these numbers. Walgreens. You want $10 off? You want to use $10 for your rewards deal? Because it's all this phone number, electronic like that, and that's crap. Okay, but the electric energy of obtaining the S&H green stamps from the grocery store.
Oh, yes.
The
Okay.
S&H
boy.
green stamps from the grocery
Oh, yeah.
store. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, IGA,
So,
yeah.
so you had a book. You had books at home. You had the books at home that showed you. So you get the green stamps. They come out of a machine or they hand them to you. And they were like gold. Like, don't lose the green stamps on the way home. Like a receipt. Do not lose the green stamps. And you got home, and they're like, my mom would use like a wet washcloth to the back of them. And then you
really?
then you would glue them in. And sometimes now you wouldn't glue the whole page in, so you couldn't fill the whole page. So you had to glue it. You had to glue the S&H green stamps in, and then you had a book of things you could buy with your green stamps, and it was incredible. Something would be like, hey, if you get 40,000 books, you get a camper.
Right.
That's not happening. But you'd have
Vacuum, though.
But you'd have
There'd be vacuum.
or a canoe.
Yep.
Chance for always like, can you get a canoe?
Yep.
Like that. Can you get
A lot, though. It's a lot.
I always wanted the telescope. You get the but you had this catalog and you read through, and the green stamps were pure gold.
Your mom and dad would know this.
Yeah,
sure they would.
You would. So everyone got S&H green stamps.
Oh, yeah.
I only remember them from the grocery store. I don't know if they came from other places, but it was such a big deal to have, and then to see the catalog at home and be like, are we getting close? What do we got for total books?
Yeah.
And my mom kept it very neat and organized where it was at. Did your
God,
family
Sharon.
have it? Did you have it, Sid?
I think my mom did. I did a lot of shoplifting, so joking.
There it is.
Kidding.
There it is.
Kidding. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was a part of my childhood.
Yes. The
Remember it very well. IGA. There was an IGA that was walking distance from our home and from our
But
home.
I got to think about it yesterday because everyone has rewards, and it's just your phone number. So it's all just electronically kept. There's nothing you take back home. There's no monitoring
I
of it
don't
back
know.
at
Jake
home.
could help
My
us
dad
with
is
that.
texting. He remembers these very vividly.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
So we
There's just
Got
little
confirmation
Little
there.
green stamps
very,
about this.
very
a lot of times
little.
you'd get them like 20 at a time, 40 at a time, whatever, and each page would hold like, 28, something
smaller
like that.
than conventional stamps.
Oh, they're like this big.
Yeah, little-
Like this
right,
big.
right.
And sometimes, remember, my mom always said that no matter what, if you buy a candy bar and you get 2 green stamps, bring it home.
Bring it home.
Put it in the book.
And she would put it in the book. She would do what with a
If you
washcloth?
if you got a big deal like 40 of them together, just kind of wipe them with a wet washcloth, then stick them in. So you didn't have to lick them.
Oh,
Yes, that was a big deal.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now
Sharon
people-
is
You were
smart.
right, Bill. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You said, Jake, this won't hit you, and it didn't hit me. But it's very cool, though.
We lived in a better time.
it was better times, Jake,
Yeah.
is what it was. Let me show you something here if I can find
you
it.
got a picture of this?
Well, I have something here that I think would be very beneficial to everyone if we could.
Okay.
He's scrolling.
Scrolling it because it shouldn't
Is
be
it
that
doom
low.
scrolling or just scrolling?
Shouldn't be
It's
that,
not doom
that
scrolling.
low. Hang on, I can come up with this.
Don't say doom scroll.
It's a term.
I know.
Regarding social media.
I
So
know.
I have it
TikTok,
right here.
Instagram,
because
Twitter.
there's a lot of doom.
Yeah,
Right
exactly.
there.
There it is. How did you come across
Oh,
that?
there they go. Okay.
I
Show that on
looked
the
it up. I
camera.
Googled it.
Oh, did you Google and then send
Yeah.
a picture to yourself?
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah.
It's
how you do it.
Here's my favorite part is look at the family looking at the book. Look at the family looking
they
at the
happy?
book. Look how happy they are.
That's you.
That's me right there. Look,
Yeah,
can we get the
that-
canoe?
Yeah,
Can we get the
that's you.
canoe?
Do we have
look
enough-
at the
do we have enough
lovely
stamps?
look at the lovely wife with
Yeah.
a pearl necklace.
Pearl necklace on. Look, it's
Probably
like,
got
it's
it from
like,
the
it's like
stamps.
it's like Ward and June Cleaver.
It is.
It's Ward and June Cleaver.
She's just home as a homemaker, and
Yes.
she's got all dolled up.
yes, it's incredible.
Better times.
Better times.
Better times.
Does anybody remember
Oh yeah,
on the text line?
Here we go. Some response from the text line to the S&H green stamps.
S&H
Good job,
green
Jake.
stamps.
Good job,
Thank you.
Jake.
Okay.
Yes.
David says, how Miller and Payne green stamps. He
Oh!
realized that.
Yeah, there's more. Yeah.
Miller and Payne.
Yes.
How about that?
Marlboro Miles were always good to collect too from
yes.
somebody.
Marlboro Miles.
Sanderson says, "Thank you, Coach. Putting the green stamps in the book was part of my life."
Yes, it was. It's a big thank you, Sanderson, for the great hair and checking on the bar. Also,
Another person saying Marlboro Miles, second to none. So
Marlboro Miles. Now, I was not familiar
Yeah.
with Marlboro Miles.
I was not. The S&H was what drove me.
someone says, "Was there a green stamp store in Kearney when you were out there at all?"
I don't know. I don't remember that for sure.
What year was that?
Well, this was all happening in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
Like the
you-
70s when I remember as
You
a
were in
kid.
the 90s at UNK, right?
The UNK would have been there.
That wasn't as
But
big
I
in-
think there was actually like a green stamp store you could go to that had. Here's the thing that you never know. Like, when did all of a sudden one day, what was it? Green stamps are done. What day was it that your mom went and got groceries and it's like, where are my green stamps? Like, we don't do those anymore.
Sorry.
That shut down.
Rough
When
day.
was it?
Rough day.
Imagine having 40 books and you had no idea
Rough
it was
day.
coming.
Rough
It's like, well,
day.
we had all this money.
Yeah.
saved. We had all these stamps.
Yeah, what do we do?
just
how,
worth
how do
nothing?
I get a telescope now?
Right.
I just want a telescope or a canoe.
Rough day.
Some more Jack and Jill grocery store in Broken Bow.
Jack and Jill.
Oh, Jack and Jill. Wow.
Okay.
That's a great one.
Let's see. Someone lived in Sterling, Colorado in the early 80s. There was an S&H green stamp store in town. They collected them from the gas station.
Okay. Okay.
That's Jinx for NU.
Jinx.
That's
I
the
like
name.
that.
Kyle says, Bill, spot on. All of us kids would literally fight wanting to put the stamps in.
Oh yeah, it
Oh,
was a big deal
fight.
when you put them
Kids
in.
would
You,
fight.
and you had to, and if you had to mix and match them then too. Sometimes it'd be like, hey, there's only a spot for 3, so they had to fit into the right spot. You couldn't try to.
Sharon
you
had this
couldn't-
under control.
Yes, it was very under control.
John says, I remember going to the green stamp stores in Lincoln. One was downtown. The other was just south of 70th and O.
Whoa.
See,
Whoa.
we've stirred up some memories.
Wait a second.
have.
Just south of 70th and O's. So that's where you go every day, right, Jake?
I would take that route, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, is that where computer hardware's at now?
It
basically,
is.
then?
That's where I got
The
my
same
phone
spot?
fixed.
Yeah. So we're going, Jay. This is gonna shock all you guys, but especially
I
for
can't
you.
wait for this.
But we're gonna go backwards in time.
Back in time?
Back in
You-
time.
you don't say,
Don't
Bill.
say.
What a shock.
Who would have shocked if
What
I
a
would go?
shocker.
We're going back in time. Jay won't recall these, but there'll be a lot of people that will text in that have this. Okay, reinvent the family and friends football night, the wildness of the watch party, of what it used to be like back in the 70s and 80s
Okay.
when you got together to watch Nebraska football. And it was I'd like to see it install some shag carpeting in your basement if at all possible, because
Bring
that's
it back
how it
to
was.
shag carpet.
Shag carpet.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on.
telling you. Okay, so a couple things. Okay, a couple things that have to happen for us right there. Kids, there's no curfew. Doesn't matter what age you are like that. It's like, well, he goes to bed at 9. Not tonight. There's no curfew. You can slough through school tomorrow and be just fine.
Yeah.
Just all you got to do
We
is
welcome
show
it.
up.
We
We welcome it.
expect
We
Yeah.
expect that. So especially if it's a double overtime game, parents, they're all up and they're set and they're ready to go. There's kids playing ball as people are showing up to your house out in the front yard
Yep.
with a Nerf ball. You remember the Nerf
Oh, yeah.
ball?
Absolutely.
The Nerf ball.
With the bite out of from
the
with
bite out from a dog.
From
Yeah,
the dog.
From the dog. I had a purple one with 2
Yeah.
big bites out of it.
Yeah.
Kringle got it. Yeah, that's the best. Gear. You hope somebody shows up, as we talked about, in the red cowboy hat that's felt. And then hope some people show up in the red and white bib overhauls. Remember seeing
Yeah.
those? They're red and white.
Oh,
those
yeah.
are old school Herbie gear. You want things going on like in the deal. You want like chance for turnover and stuff. Everyone's sitting together in the same spot. Now, here's the deal. You have your spot where you sit to watch the game. Okay? If it's not going well, you change spots.
Yep. Right.
If it's going well,
Do
for
not
God's
move.
sakes, no one moves.
No bathroom break.
No, nothing. No one moves.
Hold it. You
Hold
sit
it.
down,
Sit down.
you
Sit
like
down.
it.
Everybody
Hold
get
it.
back in here. Then there's somebody that's in the living room that gives the commercial's over. The call out.
Yeah.
The commercial's over because there's a mad scramble. You have to be able to have that. You want all those things going on. Okay, beer, cold, number one thing. It's going to be Coors Banquet or Miller High Life bottles. That's it. If someone brings an IPA, send them home. If
know,
someone
okay,
walks
this is
in the
not that
door
type of
with
party.
an IPA, you send them home. in the food is so critical. I want a 7-layer dip. I want Ruffles potato chips with French onion dip. I want the Velveeta cheese dip. Then I want all the foods eaten with toothpicks. I want meatballs and little smokies. I want crock pots everywhere. I want crock pots everywhere.
We need to go to Bill's house for this.
This is a party central.
That's how it was for us right there. And then, like I said, you can always change the mojo with it. Also, if someone shows up with a charcuterie board, flip it. Just flip it. We're not doing. There's no charcuterie boards. Just flip it over. Someone
Give it
walks
to the
sets
dog.
it down.
Boom.
Give it to the dog. Flip it like that. No, we're doing Velveeta tonight.
Yeah.
We're not doing
Someone brought
charcuterie
in
board.
both an IPA and a charcuterie board.
They'd be
Are they
admittedly
banned
Yeah.
forever?
They're banned
They're
forever.
banned,
They're
right?
banned.
Yeah.
Imagine
They're
someone
already
says,
suspended.
I got a 6-pack of IPA. It's a new one. You'll love it. It's out of it's out of
charcuterie.
a charcuterie board like that. Just flip it.
You are never welcome here.
Never
Bill,
welcome
would you
again.
notify him though? Send him a certified letter. You are
Certified
now
that
suspended.
You're barred. I would shame him the whole night. I would
yeah.
shame him like, hey, grab another IPA and some of the charcuterie board for Bob. I mean, what are we
We
doing here?
suspended people from our. We watch in the garage.
Yeah.
Well, I've given.
Yeah.
Them, we send them a text message. You've been now put on probationary
Yeah.
status for 2 weeks.
That's a wise move.
Yeah.
But it used to be so epic because Jay, like, even by the time you were playing, almost every game was on TV.
Yeah.
But back in the day when so they call them watch parties. And it would be a big deal. You showed up like 2 hours ahead of time.
Yeah. Pre-game.
2 hours pregame. This afterwards, you watched everything. It was so intense to watch it because first of all, you didn't get to see it. Well, tonight is a lot like that because no one's seen this.
Yeah.
So it's not like game 8 where I've watched them play 8 games already.
first game.
No, this is the first game. So this is like watch party central. So teach your kids. There's no curfew. If they miss school tomorrow, it's fine or slough through. We've already said if with the win, when we get the win,
Nobody's
no
doing
one's
anything
going to
tomorrow.
school
Don't
tomorrow.
go to school.
Yeah, Ted Carter should make the announcement here pretty soon that Nebraska will be off tomorrow to
LPS,
celebrate.
same day. Come on,
LPS,
everybody, come
yes,
on.
everyone. I'll get
And
a hold.
Pillin too.
Yeah,
Come on,
Nobody's
Pillin.
working.
Pillin.
No school. Nothing.
Come on, Governor Pillin.
Governor Pillin,
no
if you're
school
out
tomorrow.
there, no school tomorrow with the win.
Yeah, it's
Let's
Matt
make a
Rule Day.
statement. Reinvent the family and friends football night.
That's good.
That was all. You know what?
That's great stuff.
That was a highlight of the morning.
Well, Bill,
my man was intense when he said, "I want 7-layer dip." Yeah, that meant no negotiation.
Ruffles chips,
Ruffles
dip.
chips,
French
onion.
You know the Ruffles chip like
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. We know
Yeah.
what you're talking
And the best part is,
They have ridges.
Yes.
the best part is when I look over, I can see Bill over there doing. I can
Oh,
just
yeah.
see him on the white table.
Yeah.
Had with the crock pots.
Oh, and you get the crock pots,
Yeah.
and also the paper
Check-
plates got to be the mini ones.
Yep.
The
Checking the
mini
dip,
paper
too.
plates, the mini paper plates, and when you get the Smokies, and you get a
I-
toothpick and wooden toothpick too. Don't give me a plastic toothpick. I'll lose my mind.
I just have this visual, Bill, of you walking over the table and you say, "Hey, Laura, who brought the
Charcuterie
charcuterie board?"
board.
Oh, that was Steve.
they have to. It's not. That's not who we
tell
are.
them
I don't think the
happened.
shag carpet
What
would
they
go
do?
over well.
Shag carpets.
I don't think the shag. I don't think that's going to
We'd
get
have to
passed.
bring that in special.
Yeah,
Probably have to
right.
roll it up and take it out. Roll it
yeah.
out, and we'll take it. Honey,
yeah.
that's okay. We'll roll it up. We'll
This
put
is
it. We'll put it
temporary.
back in the garage.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's temporary. It's
But
game day.
if you've ever been in a basement in the 70s, it was shag carpeting,
Yep.
and that's the way it was with the big TV down there. It was incredible.
That is Bill's Thrill, sponsored by Mid Plains Advisors. Call Dirk, Scott, and Ty for all your financial needs at 402-730-7387. Before the game show, some response. We get response from the text line. This one said, someone says, if a breaker doesn't trip from the number of crock pots plugged into one outlet, it's not a real watch
Not
party.
a real party. It's not.
Right.
There should be 9 crock pots.
Yeah.
There should be every
Crock pots everywhere,
Every
he
woman
said.
should. Every lady should walk in with that. Hey, Laura, where can I plug this in at? I got a crock pot full of.
They have extension cords.
Yeah, exactly. I got the little meatballs.
Yeah.
What do you got? I want meatballs and Smokies, and that's it.
Nick, not this Nick, different Nick, says, crock pots everywhere. Love that, Bill. Don't forget the kids playing full-blown tackle football in the backyard at halftime.
Absolutely, halftime is
yeah.
like the pre
Kids.
with the Nerf ball,
Yep.
with the and Jay hit it so spot on with the bite out of it.
From the
They
dog.
all had a
Yeah,
dog. They
yeah.
all did. They would get a hold of it. It's like you get so mad, but it was part of the deal.
Barney says, don't forget the wood paneling, Coach. Here.
Yes, the wood
So,
paneling
yeah,
down
they
there.
have that.
Oh, you can see the wood paneling. I can see it right now.
With shag carpet.
Shag carpeting.
Bryce says, chug a High Life for every score.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Is that, are you okay with that?
That'd be nice.
You down with that?
That'd be nice. Yeah, if someone brought in, like they said, the charcuterie board, if they came in, with that,
Flip
an
it.
IPA, and then a really nice Napa Valley wine. No, just keep right on walking.
Go to the next house
Go to the
and
next
never
house.
come back
Go to
here
the next
after a
house.
kid.
That's not us. That's not us.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Corey in Lincoln says, you nailed it, Bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey.
He always
Thank you.
nails it here.
Trying to get into character. It's half Wild Card Wednesday and half bugaboo.
Good.
It's a woogaboo.
Perfect.
It's a woogaboo.
Woogaboo Wednesday.
It's a woogaboo Wednesday.
Woogaboo.
Woogaboo Wednesday is what it is.
Sounds like something Jerry Lee Lewis
That's
would
to
say.
say. Woogaboo.
Yeah. The great Jerry.
The foolish end to the full service gas station. The foolish end to the This is going to shock you. I'm going to go back in time.
Speak.
I'm going to go back in time.
Speak.
All full service it used to be.
Oh, God.
It was all full. So you pulled up.
Oh, God.
You pulled up, and it was incredible. The first thing would be the regal sound of driving over the attendant's cable. Ding, ding.
Ding.
Ding, ding. Remember that? Ding, ding. To let the attendant know, oh, we got
100.
a customer. I got to be able to come out and check it out. Ding, ding. Remember, you used to ride your bike over them sometimes.
Yep.
If you get in the ding, then you do pop
Sometimes
wheelies.
it wasn't heavy enough.
So you try to like pop a wheelie and make you try to get the thing to ding, and then just take off driving. That was common. See if we can get the thing to ding.
I always felt guilty
Yeah,
for
like
doing
that.
it.
Ding, ding.
Because it messed with
And
some
then it
guy's
was-
livelihood.
Then it was full. Here's where the change started. Then it was full service. Then it'd be one side would say full service, one side self service, like 10 cents a gallon cheaper.
Was it 10 cents?
I don't know, whatever it was, but it was cheaper to do it yourself. Okay. But I can remember so it was just
Ding, ding.
ding ding. The guy'd come out and he had premium or regular. What was the gas you wanted to have like that? He would pump for it. Then it'd be what do you want? Put in $10 or fill it like that. Fill it, which is like that. The rich people filled it. Fill it. Which didn't
All the
matter
way.
because it cost the same amount of money whether you put 10 at a time or filled it. It didn't cost anything different. But that the fill it was a huge deal. Then they'll pop the hood. So you'd pop the hood for them,
Yep.
and they'd check the oil.
Check the oil.
They'd
Nice.
check the oil. They would check the oil.
I'd have a rag.
Have a rag.
You have a rag ready.
Kind of a bluish rag. They wipe it off.
Sometimes blue, sometimes pink, kind of pinkish
Pink
hue.
You kind of
Yeah.
a hue, a hue to it.
Yeah.
You check the oil for it down. If it's quarter, half low, just top it off.
Yep, top it
you,
off.
you have to pay for the whole quart. Didn't do that. You just paid for whatever you had to put into
Nice.
it to top it off. Then they'd wash your windows
Yep.
by hand.
Yep.
They'd wash your windows by hand. Wash them down both sides. Wash your windows, and you'd kind of, if you're a little kid, you kind of talk to the guy or whatever. And then the thing, this is really cool. The payment was the same guy. So he would take your money.
Take your money
and
right
he'd go in. He ran the cash register.
Yep.
It wasn't there wasn't Sally in there working the register. No,
Usually
he
not.
he came in, ran your card like that. Mostly his cash.
Yep.
Usually always cash.
Mostly
Brought
cash.
your stuff back out.
Yeah, they didn't have the little card thing.
No, the thing that was amazing too was back in the day, all they had was soda machine and candy bars.
Pretty much.
Maybe peanuts. It
Yeah.
was soda,
M&Ms.
maybe
Very, very
soda
simple.
and candy. Very
Yep.
simple. There was
100.
there was no hey grab
Did you say
me.
peanuts?
Peanuts.
Yeah,
yes.
they have peanuts.
There'd
in
be
there.
some peanuts
Yeah.
in there, but that's and then the candy bar then would be it'd be a salted nut roll or
Yep.
maybe a cherry bing. Those are your options. What do you guys?
Salted nut
What do you want? Which one do you want? Want a
the
salted
nut-
nut roll or
nut
a cherry?
roll every time.
Yeah, give me the nut roll every
time,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
But they didn't have it. Just give me the bing then. If they don't have it. But that's all you thought. It was incredible. Ding ding.
Ding, ding. You're right.
The foolish end to the full service gas station.
Can I
Thank you.
give you one good thing?
you so
There is
much.
one that exists in Lincoln still, at least somewhat. HIS Auto Care, a sponsor of
Our
the ticket,
sponsor.
at 70th and Van Dorn, does do. They have service there.
And what's the
They'll pump
fella's
the
name
gas.
that
It's
came
Rico.
in? Rico.
And they'll pump your gas.
They'll pump your gas for you at 70th and Van Dorn. HIS Auto Care.
That's incredible. That's great.
So there's
but
a
it's
place
it's
that
down to
exists.
like it's like
Yeah.
0.005%.
Oh,
It's down
yeah,
to
it
nothing.
does.
It's down to nothing.
Yeah.
And it was the best when you
It
pulled
was.
it. And
I
then they
can
came
remember.
in.
Yeah, there was one in Columbus, right on Highway 30 that I used to go to all the time. 100%.
Someone says there's one still in Tilden, Nebraska, that has a full
Full-service in Tilden.
gas station.
That's incredible. My parents used to live in Tilden.
Really?
Yeah, they would have been to that gas station. at
Think
some point
about
in
if
time.
someone came out now, you'd be like, okay, what's going on here? Wait, it would be wonderful in a way, but you'd be like, it'd almost be disconcerting. No, that was perfect, Bill.
We have a lot of response here,
Okay.
Bill.
Ding, ding.
Yep, a lot
Ding,
of
ding.
response. Someone says, remember them asking leaded or unleaded?
Yes.
Oh yeah, leaded or unleaded. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like premium. Remember back in the day when there was it, we could still get leaded gas.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I like
incredible.
that. You'll love
Leaded?
this.
They'd also fill up your little tank for your lawnmower.
Yeah,
too.
they would.
Hey, fill that up if you could like that. Throw a gallon in that for me too. Yeah.
OG Les Lancaster chimes in. He says this, I stopped at a station in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma once, and got out to pump my own gas, and the guy was visibly offended I wasn't letting him pump my gas.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well,
Interesting.
It's not full service in New Jersey, but in New Jersey, you don't pump your own gas.
Nope.
New Jersey, you have someone pumps
Someone
your gas
pumps
for you. And I had the same thing happen to me. I pulled in. I was recruiting. I jump out to put gas
Just
on
like
that.
you
and
would, yeah.
Just like they're like no, we got this.
They give you the hand.
They give you the hand. They give you the hand. But it wasn't full service. And
Headline
then
again.
the foolish end to the full service.
Someone
gas
says
station.
late
Wait
night.
a second. He was.
Oh, I'm
reading
sorry.
The headline.
Do it one more
It's
time.
all right. We're good.
One more time, Bill. Please, one more time.
The foolish end to the full service gas station.
Foolish. Texture says, late 90s, I served full-service gas in Wisner. I washed windows, checked oil, and vacuumed the vehicle.
Man,
Nice.
that's a day work.
That's a
That's
day.
a day's work, by the way.
And when you pull up like that, it's just and then you know the guy. Hey, Larry, what's going on, buddy?
Yep, Don.
Good
It
to
was
see you.
Don
Like that.
for a minute,
Don,
yeah.
you know him well. Who runs the station? And again, I was so amazed by the person who did everything. They took your money, gave you your change, pumped the gas, cleaned it, whatever. And also at the same time, so if you weren't there, I'm going to knock this carburetor out real quick too.
Yep,
I'm going to
yep,
fix this real
yep,
quick.
yep.
Dudes,
God.
they were dudes, guys that could fix stuff.
Better times.
Someone says regarding the candy and the pop that you had
Yes.
there. Did they also have quarter machines you could get candy
Yes.
at? Like the quarter machine?
Oh, absolutely.
sure, yeah.
You know what he's talking
Like
about.
the Mike
Also,
and Ike's.
quarter
and
machine
Hot
was fun,
Tamales.
yeah.
And
Quarter
a lot of
machine was fun.
times they didn't
M&Ms.
have. Most of the time, remember, they didn't have soda in a refrigerator. It was in a. It was in the. It was in the. Whatever you want to call it. That you could just. Pop machine.
A pop machine, yeah. That
That's all it
pop
was.
machine, you hit the
button or,
and it'd come out.
or you, if it's bottle, you pull it out.
Pull it out.
Pull it out. Here's the other thing too. Coke and Pepsi existed in the same machine. There wasn't a
that's hard
different
to
machine.
believe.
They absolutely
the
did.
same machine. Like the people
I
just
think
brought.
they did.
It basically, you get Coke, Pepsi, Squirt. Then
Squirt.
There'd always be a grape.
Sprite.
Squirt.
Squirt.
And then
Squirt was
there-
good.
Squirt was good.
I
And
like
then
Squirt.
then it'd be grape knee high.
Yeah.
Like that.
Maybe.
And maybe grape
Maybe.
knee high. And then
Maybe.
orange maybe with that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'd always get the grape.
No,
with
you're
like a-
right. They usually grape knee high was a staple.
Yes.
You're right about that.
And then a root beer.
Root beer.
And then
yeah,
a root beer. And
yeah.
if you're going to get a diet, there was one. Tab.
yeah.
I'll take a Tab. Give me a pink Tab.
Yeah.
I never had a tab.
Yeah, Tab was the original.
When did tab go away?
I don't know. I'd like to get some. If anybody get some Tab, I'd
Yeah,
love to
if
have
tab
one.
exists, can we get a case here?
It's like I
Yeah.
ran into a tab about
pack?
15 years ago.
Okay.
That'd be incredible. Like that. Somebody said, "What do you want? Like a diet? Yeah, we want Tab."
oh, Bill, this is big. This is
Right.
big. This is big.
Yeah.
Someone says, in Oregon, it's only full service. You can't pump your own gas.
Why is that, I wonder?
I don't know.
Well, again, New Jersey's like that, but is it full service? Are they washing the windows? Because in New Jersey, they're not doing any of that. They're just pumping gas. That's it.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's, do they do that because there's a lot of drive-offs?
I don't know.
Probably.
Also back in
Drive-offs.
when self-service first started, which was great, was that you just got out and filled it, then went in. There was no pre this or whatever at that. Then it get to the point where sometimes you had to walk in. Hey, I'm going to put 25 in, and they hit a button so it would stop at 25.
Yeah.
But there was the difference. That's when it took over. And one time, me and Chris Buchholz were driving around. We stopped and got gas. We're driving around. Lisa Reimers is following us around, honking at us. Like, what's going on with Reimers? What's she doing? All of a sudden, she goes, "Hey, Yahoos, you didn't pay for your gas."
Oh.
Just
Whoa.
forgot.
Drive-off.
That's
Yeah,
bad.
drive off.
No, unintentional
but
drive-off.
unintentional like that.
drive-off.
But the intentional drive-offs also happen
Hey,
quite often.
Can I tell you something that you're gonna? I think you appreciate this. In Columbus, they had this sort of station, full service with the ding ding, and then they had the Happy Chef that was almost in the same lot.
Really?
And they had the big Happy Chef
Yeah,
dude,
oh,
and
yeah.
you press a button and
Oh,
you
yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
So you could go ding ding and then go over and
Over there,
press the
that's it,
button. Welcome to Happy Chef.
And you think that wasn't better times, Jake?
I do
And you
believe
know who
that.
lived right behind the Happy Chef, Jake?
Who's
AJ.
AJ did?
Yeah,
My golf
he
league
lived
partner.
right behind the Happy Chef. They had a hotel over there in that
I
little
can
area.
see
told-
the happy.
I've
So
heard
did he
about-
have like a wooden spoon? In
Yeah,
his
he had a
hand?
wooden
spoon, a giant
He
wooden
did.
spoon.
He did.
And he did. You press it and it
Yeah,
would talk to
yeah,
you.
and
Give us
he
the
would
sound
talk.
again.
Welcome to Happy Chef.
Ding ding.
Yeah, come in and have our waffles and pancakes.
I wish I could have heard this.
Yeah, if you got
compare it in
lonely,
real
if
life.
you got lonely, you could just go over and talk to him.
Talk to the Happy Chef.
Talk.
guy.
I mean, there's a big. I mean, you know how big this thing was?
No, but
I
please
mean, it
describe
was.
to me. How big?
It was probably 40 feet. Yeah, I mean, it was gigantic. It was a
Big
big.
and scare
Oh,
a
it's
child.
huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And I always wonder, like, man, is that thing going to blow down? Never did. And by the way, there was a Happy Chef, I think, in Mankato, Minnesota. I think there was a Happy Chef, but it didn't have a big man in front of it. But there was a Happy Chef. I hadn't seen one in a long time.
I'd love to see a happy chef.
Yeah,
like that.
this week when we were driving back from the game, I think it was in Mankato. What a hellhole that is, by the way.
Shots fired at
Mankato
Mankato.
State.
Just saying. But they did have a happy chef.
Giltner says, my father-in-law still tells stories of people he met when he was a gas station full-service guy on the interstate here in Giltner.
Oh, you'd meet some
Has
incredible,
stories still.
incredible people. If you were
you
were on like a trip, you knew if we stopped, good chance of maybe getting some peanuts and a soda or something, a salted nut roll, soda, whatever. There's a chance. If you were just going like in town, that wasn't happening.
No.
No, it wasn't like every. It wasn't like.
No, you didn't have to
hey,
stop to get peanuts.
Apparently, no, we're not. No, we're
No,
no.
you don't need to go to a quarter machine.
Yeah.
Those quarter machines were amazing because it was almost like a slot machine. When you turned it, sometimes you're getting a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd be like, well, wait a second.
happened? Yeah.
Why is there only 3
5.
peanuts?
What's
Yeah.
going on here?
And then
But then some other times you turn, it's like a whole meal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They were like beer nuts. Remember the beer nuts? What they're called?
Yeah,
Beer nuts.
they
had like
come out
the
of there.
Yeah,
Oh, they had the little
like
covering,
coating
the
to 'em. Like,
coating.
yeah, you had to kind of rough it
Yeah.
off a little bit with your hands.
and some of them would have the
Yeah.
coating and some of them wouldn't. So you
but
get kind
the
of
quarter
double.
machines are incredible because if also like you said, you got a big handful of like M&Ms or something. It's
Bam.
like this is incredible.
Yeah, bam.
Yeah. If I see one to this day, I always
You
go,
have to.
oh yeah.
If you got change, you have
They're not
to.
around very
They're
much.
not around. It'd be nice to have one in the. We should talk to
DP.
We have one here.
Talk to DP
We should
to
have
have
a candy
one
machine here.
DP, he got the dolly.
Yeah.
Now let's get a candy machine.
25 cents.
I want to see that dolly in the new building.
Yes.
We'll see what we can do.
Also,
Thanks, Jay.
one last thing. You didn't have to worry about how old you were to buy cigarettes. You could just buy them because they're out of a machine.
They didn't check.
They're out of a machine. That was the best. Remember the pull
You
machine,
pull the
chink chink, and the big deal like that. And all of a sudden you got yourself some Marlboros.
Sounded so good.
It sounded so
It
good.
did. Chung!
Chung. It did. I can
times.
feel what I can look at
Yeah,
that. I can
I
just
can feel it.
and you pull it real hard.
yep.
If it got jammed, you're so mad.
Oh, God.
Then you had to get the guy to get the key out,
What's
open
that
it up.
mad because I didn't
embarrassing.
smoke. But
Yeah.
usually you're getting for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best you can get. Your mom could say you don't get some cigarettes.
Back to more of Bill's Thrills Rewrapped. Sponsored by Acres Equipment on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The flip.
The monumental and magnificent task of having your team ready to play.
Oh.
College football.
Oh.
That was good.
Okay, you have 12 guaranteed games, so on the surface, it's not that hard, right? On the
wouldn't
surface,
think.
12 guaranteed games, not that hard to have your guys at the peak performance able to go. Oh man, is it hard?
Why?
It is so hard. That's what I wrote down. So you've got outside distractions everywhere. Outside distractions everywhere. Less in the NFL. They still have distractions. They have a family at home and stuff, but there's no class. There's no anything. There's no, the social media is a little bit different for them. Trust me, you're taking heat, but it's a different situation. So you have all these outside distractions of people talking to you, people loving you. Just think, if just put an example, where would it have been to be walking around campus 2.5 weeks ago if you were Jeff Sims? Just got your Amigos deal, just got all this stuff done.
Acres.
And now it's not going quite
Clothing
as well.
deal.
And so it makes it really hard. And then there's this right away. It's like, what is your success expectations? Everyone has them. They should win this. They probably can't win this. They should win this. Probably shouldn't win this. It is so hard to be able to do. The importance of the game. The importance of the game. Number of times like, this game's a big game. This game is this. This is a conference game. This game is not. Just watch the scores and the things that happen or people that are asleep at the wheel. You just go, oh my, to keep them focused, to have all those things to do. And then you have this one. You have underprepared, overprepared. Underprepared was we weren't ready for that. The situation came up in the game. We were not prepared for that. We had barely touched on this, all these things. And then you can have also the overprepared, where I've been on staffs like that, and myself, you're always battling this one. It's like there are so many things to cover, you can just lose the team. And so you have to have, how did I methodically get all this stuff in? If say it's special teams, I'd always tell guys, hey, it's August 24th. We're going to work this drill. And on August 24th, this drill's not coming up again for like 5 weeks because you can't hit on every single one of them. So it's such a big deal.
Interesting.
And then you have the
Interesting.
in-game expectations. So I said this on radio, I know a couple times. I said it outside radio 100 times. I said the in-game expectations. So Colorado's expectation was to score 21 in the first quarter. That was the expectation set by everyone. By who? Everyone. Big noon kickoff, the announcers, everyone that happened after last week the expectations were scoring explosion. And so I said right away, I go, when it doesn't work that way. And I was on the phone with someone who it was, I said, if I was Nebraska, I would take the ball. And they ended up getting the ball through being deferred. I would take the ball and just start, because what they do right away?
They moved it.
They drove and they ate up like 7 minutes of clock.
They did.
So all of a sudden, the first quarter
5
ended,
minutes,
and it was
5
what?
minutes.
0-0.
0-0.
And so all of a sudden,
Perfect.
the fan base is like, hold it.
Perfect.
We're supposed to score 56, and we got 0.
We're good.
Perfect.
We're good. Besides
And
that
so,
fun.
That's what I thought.
But when you
Perfect.
have that feel that you're supposed to be dynamic and all these things are supposed to happen like that, so it's important to stay the course, obviously. It's so important to stay the course with how you prepare your team every week. If there's everything different, and all coaches do that. If they don't, that's a clown show, and that happens like 4%, where somebody's just way different from week to week or something different. That stuff is that
Clown
and
show.
then you have the conversation of talent versus hooked up. So I tell my dad all the time, like, he's not hooked up right. That dude's just hooked up right. And then you have somebody look at it and go, man, he's really talented. He's really, really talented. And so you have to make the decision of that he's more talented than this guy. This guy may be hooked up better, which means he understands down and distance situation, all the stuff.
Can't
that's
you hook
going
up
on.
a guy who's not
It's
hooked
okay.
up?
It's hard. It's hard to do that. It's really hard because some people just have this awareness. You just watch them. Yeah. They understand everything. Yeah. They understand everything that's going on. They understand time. They understand all the different stuff. It's really, really hard, and it gets you. And I've had players before in the past.
Oh, yeah.
We had a certain player that played for us at Rutgers, ended up playing. He made an NFL team for a year or two, and it's like he was a player. He was a dude. But the airs were incredible. The airs were incredible. Just like, and to the point that then you have to be like, okay, he can't do that. He can only do this to try to figure it out.
Interesting.
Time of game.
Oh, God.
We hit on that hard. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Great job by Nebraska. They had their guys ready to go for 10 a.m.
did.
kickoff. Their
They
guys
did.
were ready to go for
Absolutely.
10 a.m. kickoff. And then the week prior and the week coming up, what just happened and what's coming up? What just happened? Colorado, I know they heard a lot of really cool stuff, and they had the expectations of all the things. And then what's coming up the following week? I never buy into, man, I think they just look past them. They're looking on the next week. I just don't remember kids really being like, also in the middle of the first quarter like that, score 0-0 like that. Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know, I'm thinking about the game next week. I've never, I don't know what that is. I don't. The fan base gets more excited. Hey, we got to win this one because that sets us up for this one.
Right.
That sets
Looking
us up
ahead.
for that.
Right. Okay.
And so, and then you take a
Trap
look at
game.
take a look at just give you an example. Last year, and they were behind most of the game. Who did Missouri play? I mean, who did Georgia almost lose to and play the worst to? Missouri.
Yep.
At
Last
Missouri.
year,
Yeah, they're behind most of the entire game.
They were.
At Missouri. And so that was a classic example. They weren't ready to go. They didn't have their stuff. And then also, here's the deal. When all of a sudden you say, hey, knock it off, turn it on. Oh, it's hard. That doesn't work that way. There is no knock it off, turn it on, now we're going to go. And all of a sudden the game gets to where
Thanks
it's
for
at.
saying that.
And so it is hard. I mean, I watched Utah-Baylor. Utah comes back and beats them. It was 13-6. Utah couldn't move the ball an inch. They finally get a score to tie it. Then they throw a horrible pick. Baylor throws a horrible interception. The game was going to overtime, and they throw a horrible interception. But all those things. Northern Illinois, they go to Boston College. It had to be probably one of the best plane rides home ever. They go to Boston College, beat an ACC team. Boom, they're excited, they're ecstatic. They land all week, whatever happens. They got Southern Illinois, and then they're going to Nebraska. And Southern Illinois beats them. And it wasn't like they
On
like,
their home field.
They were getting beat the entire game. I'm just it's not like one time it was 14-0. I mean, it was incredible. So
Football facts.
the monumental and magnificent task of having your team ready to play.
Oh, this is
Staying very current, tying it right into the National Football League,
Oh,
the
ooh.
NFL
This is
bugaboo.
interesting. I hope Roger Goodell's listening.
I hope Goodell's listening because this needs to be addressed, and I will want to throw hands with people that want to disagree with this, just so they know. The ridiculous rule of pass interference in the NFL. The ridiculous rule of pass. You can have a 54-yard penalty for accidentally running into a wide receiver with the ball's in the air. But you can pile drive a quarterback. You can pick him up and throw him down on his head. It's 15 yards. That's it.
This is good.
That's
Bill.
it. It's 15 yards. If you can throw the ball 99 yards in the air, there might be a 99-yard penalty. You can run the running back out of bounds through the Gatorade table and have him do a triple somersault into the stands. It's 15 yards. But at 22 yards, if you happen to bump a receiver, it's a 22-yard penalty.
Oh, this is gold. This is great.
How can this happen? A wide receiver can do an illegal crackback block below the waist, which could end someone's career. Career ending 15 yards. But I bump someone at 48 yards, that's going to be a 48-yard penalty. Stop it. Stop it. You can't have penalties.
gold, Jake.
You cannot have penalties
gold.
for 40 yards and 50 yards down the field, where all of a sudden it's like, well, they don't. You have no
I'll drive a quarterback and get 15
yards.
You do. You can pick him up. You can pick him up,
Souffle.
flip him upside down, and drive him on his head. And it's going to be that's unsportsmanlike
15
conduct. 15 yards. That's it.
Personal foul.
You can have a
Almost as good as a
70-yard.
jump ball.
You could have a 70-yard penalty. I want you to think about that.
I'm thinking about it.
A
It's a great
70-yard
point.
penalty.
It's a great
That
point.
makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Makes absolutely no
Somebody
sense.
weigh in and it would make it make sense.
Have you
I
ever
don't
seen
think
anyone in college football because the penalty is 15 yards? Has anyone been going crazy that we have to go with the NFL rule?
Nope.
This is we
Nope.
have to go
I
NFL.
wonder what the reasoning is.
So anyway, Goodell,
Oh, Bill. That was so good.
what's
listen
the
in.
reasoning? What would
The
be
reasoning is that they had a chance to make the catch. At this, they would have got this ball. Guess what? They could drop it too.
Yeah.
So they could drop it too. Like I said, but just think of the egregious things that you can do that are
only 15.
only 15. That's it. 15. That's it. It's insanity.
When did it dawn on you? Is this something recent?
Oh no, this has been you're looking at 40 years. This is 40 years I've been waiting. And then the NFL season got started, and I saw a PI, and I'm just like, okay.
We got you a radio show.
Yeah. Also, I got.
And
yeah.
here we are.
Here we are.
And
Got me a
here
radio
is the
show.
gold.
I texted.
It's time to
I
complain.
texted in one day, and I'm like, why didn't you have me in as a guest? And then I haven't left.
He's been here for 9 months.
I showed
You got that off your chest. You feel better.
I feel better like that.
Do you feel you look lighter? Yeah, you look lighter.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look
Thank
a little younger
A little
right
younger.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
aging gracefully.
Yes,
Aging
yes.
gracefully.
Get that off your chest.
Yes,
you
get
got
this-
it off.
Get things off your chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
But is he wrong though? It's
No.
a great take.
No.
It's ridiculous. You're right.
No, he's not
The
wrong.
things that are 15 yards are way more egregious than the ones that are
Right.
a ticky-tack, 30-yard penalty. And you see it every game. It's a factor. The Dolphins benefited from this. The Dolphins, at the end of the first half,
Yeah.
threw up a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And it is J.C. Jackson. It was obvious PI. I mean, he mauled. There's a receiver. I mean,
Okay.
and usually they don't call pass interference on Hail Marys, but he knocks him down to the ground. It was
Right.
very clear. So the Dolphins get a spot foul and they kick a field goal at the end of the half to
boom.
go up 20-17.
Boom.
They benefited.
Yeah.
But that was like a 45-yard penalty or 50-yard
Yeah.
penalty,
It's ridiculous.
which should be 15.
There's nothing, not for the other part that when it goes down.
People make waves about it very often.
You really don't hear much about it. It's kind of like one of those things. It's like, oh, just the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, we stayed that way in life. We have a lot of things to be pretty jacked up. Well, that's the way it was in the 50s.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty dumb.
Right.
That was
Things are
pretty
better.
dumb.
Right.
We figured some things out.
Well, God.
Here's some response.
This might go to Roger Goodell.
This should. Yeah, hope he.
What
hears
if
this
he
segment.
changes it and says the impetus to this change was Bill Bush?
On the ticket.
Now that would get you a raise.
I would sure hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I hope,
Yes.
Rebecca, are you here?
Yeah, we could get you a raise for sure. He changed the rule.
I'll give
in
you
the
a raise.
NFL.
I'll just give you my money.
He changed
Wait a
the rule
second,
in the
hold on.
NFL. Here's some response before we get to break. Dustin says, yes, spot foul PI is ridiculous. Thank you, Bill. Sanderson says, you're so dead on, Coach. The dumbest rule in sports is the pass, spot foul pass interference. Someone says, Bill's exquisite way of explaining things is always spot on. Roger Goodell, listen to this man. Nate
to the
in
ticket.
Dorchester.
The ticket.
Goodell's gonna get sent this tape.
Couldn't agree more, Bill, from unnamed texture. Let's see. Ellis says this in Illinois. He says, not disagreeing, but just pointing out you can also get thrown out of the game with that 15-yard penalty of the pile drive of the quarterback.
Okay.
You can if if you can late hit someone like I said and send them through the Gatorade thing up, then there's no ejection, there's no anything
15.
like that. Still 15 yards. That'd be awesome if they
You got
had
a lot to live up to with your winners and losers there,
Oh,
Sparky.
I know. Listen, that was a phenomenal
Yeah.
take.
What
I mean,
was
no
it?
one talks about
My
it enough.
bugaboo.
It's not brought up enough. It's a great. No one talks about it,
It's
but
like
he's
the jump
absolutely
ball.
right on this.
It's like the jump ball.
It's like the jump ball. So occasionally I go back to sport.
You might have topped the jump ball spiel.
That's a tough one.
That's tough to jump.
Thank you.
Someone says, preach, Bill, and Dustin says, Coach Bush for NFL commissioner.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
I'm telling you right now, I would be fun up on stage with the number 1 jersey. That'd be the best.
At
Like
the
that.
draft?
And they hug me and pick me up. That would be
Bill wants that job for the draft only.
That'd be incredible. And I'll take a quarter of what Goodell makes. That's it.
yeah, he makes like $6 million or something.
No, he makes
it's
like 60
Yeah.
million.
A quarter,
quarter
yeah,
would be
15
great.
mil.
Yeah.
Good.
No, tell you
Quarter would
what,
be great.
I would do it for just draft night. I'd do it for 4,000. Just to
be
win
on the
the one
stage.
jersey get picked up.
You'd
I
be
just
an
want to be in
interesting
the stage.
It'd be fun. It'd be a fun commissioner. It'd be a lot of
Commissioner Bill Bush.
What are those guys talking about in there? I don't know. They're all laughing a lot. They don't even have the games on.
Oh, God.
Imagine us, sir. I'd bring you guys on board right away.
Awesome.
We'd be the in
That
the
would be
Be the
cabinet.
associate commissioner.
Associate commissioner.
Yeah, that'd be
You'd be
awesome.
rules. I'd put you in charge of rules.
That's a good idea.
And Jake would be PR for the NFL.
PR, that'd be great.
You'd be trying to build NFL Europe for us better.
But yes, because
Jake, you got the game in Mexico City.
I'll be down.
Yes.
I'll take care
Jake's
of
been
it.
in Amsterdam for 7 days.
We haven't heard from
Who
him.
sent him? Bush. He's the new
Where the hell is
commissioner.
Jake? We can't find him.
Where's Bush? He's getting ready for the draft.
Back to more of Bill's Thrills Rewrapped. Sponsored by Acres Equipment on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Bill, the floor is yours on Bill's Thrills.
Okay, this is probably not going to go over well by the Breakers, and probably
doubt
not
it.
with you. Well, I'm doing something different. I'm going to talk about things of the past from a small town, Nebraska.
Okay.
So that's probably something that I've never hit on yet.
Oh,
So
never
far.
have it all.
Never hit on that.
We never know what that feels like for you, Bill.
So I'm going with
There,
that.
there was.
Oh, this
that was a
hit me the
that
other
was
day
flip.
so
That was a
hard.
very
It was like
flip
that.
there.
The missing medical miracle. The missing medical miracle. The old school treatment from the small town doctor. Starts off with this one. Doctors would do home visits. Doctors would do a home visit to your house. It was incredible. So there was no urgent care. There was no ER. There was no clinic. So in Pender, if your kid was sick or your dad was having chest pains, you just called Dr. Martin's house, and then Mike might answer. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Is your dad around? Yeah, what's going on? Nah, Dad's having chest pains. Oh, hang on, I'll get him real quick. Yeah, I'll be up. Grab his bag, come up. It was
Bag.
they always had a bag, like
Doctor's
Marcus, like
bag.
Marcus Welby, MD, used to
Doctor's
carry.
bag.
Had a doctor's bag that he would carry.
God.
Oh, it was incredible. They come to the house like that, and so there was no on-call number. You didn't call a number and say, "Well, who's the doctor who's on call?" It's like you just called their house. Or you might just drive down there. You also just might drive down like at 9:30 at night and say, "Hey, my kid's really sick. What do you think?" Oh, it's incredible to have that. Also, the charge. There was none. There was no charge. There was no charge.
How did that work?
There was no charge.
How could that possibly happen?
No charge. I just tell you, hey, here's what you got. We got to do this like that. There was no
They
charge.
might
like that.
maybe bill you later, but
Yeah, and some doctors like Dr. Martin in Pender, he went to every sporting event there was in town because he was there. He was the emergency guy.
There you go.
So he'd be on the sidelines for football. He'd be at basketball. Now he'd like to go to sporting events anyway. He'd be part of it. But here was one that was a classic. So the small town doctor all would give your full team physicals.
yeah.
The one doctor
Yep.
gave everyone the
Yep.
physicals.
Yep.
Both sides won. Well, there was a big event in Pender where they also were so big. Dr. Martin he'd bring other towns would come in, and Bancroft came in at that, so they had to come in
Okay.
for their physicals. So this is the fall physical.
Okay.
So there's kids everywhere, and a guy came in from Bancroft, and he had a mayonnaise jar full of urine. He had 30 ounces.
Whoa.
30 ounces. No one told him all he needed to have was just a touch of urine, just a
That's a whole
he
jar.
had 30 ounces of urine. It was incredible. I've never laughed so hard in my life. I can still see him. I can tell you where I was
Here's
standing.
my
He
urine.
comes in. It's like, you just need enough just to put the little thing in to kind of test your urine. But he brought in
A mayonnaise jar.
mayonnaise jar, 30 ounces of urine
And Mama wanted me in a mayonnaise
from
jar.
Bancroft. But Dr. Martin handled it.
Can you get the mayonnaise out of there? 'Cause I'm about to take a big whiz.
I gotta go right now. Hurry
They
up.
did the doctor home visit. It was incredible.
That is amazing.
The doctor home visit.
The
was-
doctor home visit
would
back
they
in the day.
and you just called them at their house.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that right now. Imagine calls.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Where'd you even start?
Right.
Hey, imagine the first thing right now. You have a kid that's sick. Do you think about that? I don't know. I'm just going to call a doctor to come over. No, you're on your way to urgent care. You're
Urgent
on
care,
ER, which I talk about a lot. Going to
Oh,
an
yeah.
ER,
You
we'll talk about a lot.
Bill's
the
Bill's
ER.
solution to most things
Things
is
are go to
I'm
the
going
ER.
to the ER.
Or, I would always tell them all the time, if I drank that many beers, I'd be in the ER.
That
Jerry.
happens all the time. You say that. I'm in the ER.
I'd
Gets
be in
me
the ER.
howling.
I'm
That's
dead.
it was a lot different. Yeah, I mean,
Columbus
I
would have been different. That'd
a
have been
little.
different.
No. I mean, I still remember Dr. Anderson. I mean, I still know the name from my childhood. Dr. Anderson. That's where we went. And it was-
Any texters, any small town texters.
Okay, some text response here. Someone says, "Good job, Bill. Sounds like Moonlight." That's from Graham.
Moonlight Graham. Yeah,
Moonlight Graham.
Moonlight Graham
Moonlight
he was the
Graham.
doctor. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Moonlight
He was,
Graham.
yeah.
Sorry.
And what show was
What's that? Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Yeah,
Moonlight
Graham.
Graham.
Yeah.
Good job, Bill.
Pecan Pie says, "Did you have to show your insurance card at all?"
Absolutely
doesn't
not.
seem like
Absolutely
it.
no.
Doesn't
was
seem
that
like
was a
it.
setup for you. That was a setup.
Is it no insurance card, no anything? That's a great job.
Let's see. This is from Ethan in Bancroft.
Was he the one with the 30 ounces of urine?
I don't know. He says Dr. Martin was like 90 when he quit. He delivered me and my mom and probably my grandma.
Yes.
LOL.
That's beautiful. That's
so
beautiful.
Dr. Martin just stopped seeing patients, I think, like 2 weeks ago here in town. And he's in his 90s. And
Wow.
he delivered over 800 babies in Pender.
God dang.
Over 800 babies in Pender.
God.
Yeah, incredible.
Someone says Dr. Green in West Point was
there you
that
go.
doctor.
That was that doctor. Everyone had one. I was telling you, that's how small towns were at that time.
Kent says I was exactly the same in the 70s in Bassett, Nebraska.
See?
He has the memory of this.
In-town doctor.
In-town doctor.
And just one. Just one.
There was a couple there in Pender because Pender had a hospital. There's no ER though. You couldn't just pull up, but you
It did have a hospital.
but there'd be a nurse working. So if you're really in bad shape, you could pull up and you could walk in too, into the hospital anytime.
Scott in Bancroft, another Bancroft person, says Dr. Martin delivered me in 1977. My mom worked at Pender Hospital for 35 years.
Oh, that's incredible. What was the name again?
Scott in Bancroft.
Can we get a last name, Scott? I know a lot of Bancroft
I'll say it off the
people.
air for you a bit.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't have it yet.
How
but-
far is
okay.
Bancroft from Pender?
About 7 or 8 miles.
Oh, so you would whip
were
in there?
Oh, you were there all
You'd
the time.
whip in there?
You whip in there all the time. Yeah.
Texter says, my dad says that was a very common thing in Ponca and that people would come over from other towns for this.
Yes.
From the doctor.
Yes. Yes, I remember in a small town of Creighton, my nephew
Creighton.
had a accident at the park and got his a big gash, big cut. So they drove him to, I think it was Wausau, to the doctor there, like at night.
Yeah.
And they called him,
Yeah.
and he came up and stitched him up.
Okay.
Someone says in the early 80s in Geneva, my older brother and I were playing football during the Nebraska-Oklahoma game, and I hit my head in a post and needed stitches, so we called the doctor and asked us to meet us at the hospital after the game was over.
Yeah.
It was still the first half. We know
Yes.
football games on
What
after
do you got?
the game.
Stitches,
Awesome.
stitches,
That is
bleeding. Yes, yeah.
awesome.
Just meet me at the hospital. We'll be fine. You'll
Yeah.
be fine. See you in about 2 hours.
Someone knows this story that you're talking about in Bancroft
But
with the mayonnaise jar.
the mayonnaise jar.
This is Ethan in Bancroft says my dad talks about the guy with the mason jar on the bus. I think his name was Marty.
I wonder if it's Marty Roth. I wonder if it's
That's
Marty
what
Roth.
he said.
You think Marty Roth is a Marty?
That's exactly what he said.
Marty's a
Marty
personal
Roth.
friend of mine. Awesome dude. He married Gina Christensen.
Yeah, they say Marty
Gina's-
Roth is what they're saying.
Oh, boy.
We've named the guy. We've named names.
Marty Roth.
I like this one. We'll get to the game show. Someone says this. Fairmont, Nebraska, village of 500 people. No doctors and no cops. The cop from York would come down on Friday and Saturday night to check things out and then go back to York. Everything good here?
They're all good.
Everything good?
Be
All right.
cool. Could you imagine the kids just seeing him drive out of town? They're like, okay, now we're
right.
back to what everyone
We'll
to
be
do.
back
Back
next
to our
week.
shenanigans.
The cop would drive over to check things
On
out.
Friday and just 2 nights. Friday and Saturday nights. That's it. No cops the rest of the week.
Gotta go to
You know what that
Fairmont.
was? Better times.
I'm going to
God.
Fairmont.
Better
Yeah, don't
times.
get me
God,
started.
don't get me started. Oh,
Get me
God.
started.
Someone says, before the days of medical ripoff, please bring that back.
Yes.
Those days.
So I'm going to fight that to the bitter
Yeah,
end. We're
again,
going to get
don't
after the
get me
insurance people here next.
That is a wonderful edition of Bill's Thrills, sponsored by Dirk, Scott,
was
and Ty at Mid Plains Advisors, your ATMs of Lincoln, 402-730-7.